joining Candid Meena every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. Thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do hit the like button, share with friends, and spread the message. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Welcome, Jaydev.
Yeah, good evening to all the viewers once again.
Yeah. So it's interesting to note that, friends, uh, Dhakkad, the movie, has flopped miserably on the first day itself, and looks like Kangana Ranaut's, gift to herself, you know, is of no use. She just gifted herself, according to Twitter, a Maybach, Mercedes Maybach S680, introduced in India for the first time, which cost approximately 5 crores ahead of the movie's release. Now, I don't know why she says gifting herself when it's actually called buying a car. When we acquire a car, we buy a car. Okay? And so if it is gift, I suppose it should be from somebody else, isn't it? Okay. So I was just reading one of the tweets of Samit Thakkar. So he says, Queen Kangana's special gesture for King Munawar Farooqi. The fun fact is, 30% of the opening day show of Dhakkad is cancelled due to no audience. You can't fool the nationalist every time. So I think, whether you have a video that you can show the audience of how
Yes.
she behaves when Munawar Farooqi is around. And that itself makes us feel what sort of a lady is she? Yes, we know she took a U turn, but trying to woo a man like Munawar?
So yeah, this is the video,
Yeah.
and so this is Kangana at the movie.
And she sees Munawar, yeah.
Yeah, so she has
It's
spotted
like she
Munawar.
sees Narendra Modi.
Uh, yeah, so that's Arjun Rampal.
Yeah.
Then
And to see, there is an agenda in this. If she's greeting him in this way, these are all instructions for people like Ekta and their
yeah,
cabal. Because he is very well identified as a Deshdrohi who spoke against not only our gods, who made fun of our gods. This sort of a man getting VIP treatment itself shows Kangana's behavior. Now, Kangana's movie Dhakkad was released today, May 20th, and the reviews are already pouring in. The film has become, as Bollywood says, a discussion on the internet. It has been dubbed a super hit by fans, but we know what is the truth. And how do we know that it is the truth? It's because they say, Bollywood PR says, Dhakkad was released on Tamil Rockers, Telegram, and other piracy related websites such as Movie Rules. Unfortunately, the film's unexpected leak may have an impact on its box office receipts. Pirate websites such as Tamil Rockers, Telegram, and Movie Rules leak new releases. This isn't the first time a film has been leaked on its first day of release. Bhool Bhulaiya, Heropanti, Runway, etc. are just a few examples. Now, viewers, what I'd like to tell you is that whenever information of this sort appears, please understand that the movie is a massive flop and they don't want to acknowledge that. And the faster they put it on the OTT, you know that it is a super flop. So all this, her show, Kangana's show, of the launch coming in a helicopter, with all her assets on display, has just gone down the drain. This woman will not succeed as long as she's not true to herself. From the beginning, we have seen she's a U-turner. She wanted fame, so she sided SSR. The moment she got her National Film Award and other awards, Padma Shri and all that, then she U-turned and went and sat at Ekta Kapoor's feet, and then she got herself this lockup. Okay, and after and lockup, she was clearly instructed by Ekta Kapoor. You will have to take all these, what you call the discards, society's discards, and make them the true symbols of Indian society. So Munawar Farooqi was given everything except a crown. So this kind of woman, who can trust her? Sometimes she's speaking about somebody, and very Next moment, she's turned against them. And it's just disgusting to watch the way she behaves. So, Jadid, but perhaps you'd like to take some comments on what our viewers are saying.
Yeah. So it's Smita says a good Kangana needs to be taught a lesson she couldn't forget for the lifetime. Very unhealthy, opportunist nature. She and Vivek Agnihotri both used SSR's murder for their own films, personal gains. Absolutely, Smita. And then yeah, she full public gained public sympathy, and yeah, Smita, and in fact, she has all the qualities which a politician needs, to she's more of a politician than an actor, I would say,
Mhm.
because she knows how to switch sides, how to gain public sympathy, and gain popularity. Kangana will never, yeah, Kangana will never prosper in life as she is the biggest opportunist and hypocrite I've ever seen and heard of. She thought she'd use as, yeah, the same thing Leonora stresses on, and she has done very well in her life, thanks to her opportunistic nature. And so,
And apparently, Jaydev, I also
Mhm.
think that somebody mentioned that it is a copy of the Hollywood movie Kill Bill. So there's nothing original in any of the Bollywood movies. So it's just her doing copying somebody else's role. So even the movie Runway, where Akshay acted, that is also a copy of a Hollywood movie. They don't have any original ideas, and then they cry, "Why is the South Indian movie, doing well and we are not doing well?" Well, they are working hard to create good scripts. Their content is good and their action is good. In both ways, you are absolutely nil. Okay, Kangana has the edge of acting well, but that doesn't mean you take a old Hollywood movie and recreate it.
So yeah, this sharing says that Kangana's U-turn is unforgiven. I hate this woman. We actually forgot that she comes from the same gutter wood. Yes, sharing. It was only after Sushant Singh Rajput's murder that she sort of sided the SSR for a brief amount of time, coming on Arnab Goswami's Republic show, and then boldly speaking against the whole Bollywood cabal with respect to a black cat in a dark room, and that everyone in Bollywood uses drugs, and they have drug
And
parties.
also, Jaydev,
Yeah.
also remember the fact that at no point does she say that accuses Aditya Pancholi or Suraj Pancholi
Yes.
in the SSR and Jia case.
And Kangana took many advantage of Sushant's, yeah, thinking that people will support her movies. They just play games with our emotions. Absolutely, Brihu. Yeah, yeah, Luminous Tree. Hi, Gloria. Sudha says, I've never supported Kangana. Yes, in fact, there was a brief period of time when when her house was sort of partly demolished by the Bombay Municipal Corporation, and then like a lot of people they sided with Kangana at that particular time.
Absolutely. Okay. So let's move on to the next piece of news.
Yeah. So coming to the next piece of news is that with regards to the South Indian actors. Now, doctor days after a botched plastic surgery led to the death of Kannada television actress Chethana Raj. Her father has now alleged that a clinic doctor brainwashed his daughter for money. Now, speaking to media, her father, Vardaraja, said, "We got to know that they don't have a license today. I don't know how they were allowed to function. The doctor brainwashed her just for money. This amounts to murder, and such a thing should not happen to anyone again. Her friends signed her up for the surgery. We were not informed. After she got some breathing issues, they took her to Kade Hospital, but attempts to resuscitate her failed. This happened due to the negligence of the doctor. It was a murder. They took 1 to 1 and 1.5 lakhs. We lost both our money and our daughter. We were dependent on her. we don't know how many people face a similar situation like us. So her father is clearly indicating that his daughter was a one of the breadwinners of the family, and they used to sort of depend on her income for running the house.
Yeah.
Now, on May 18th, Bengaluru District Health Officer confirmed that the private clinic where Chethana Raj underwent fat-free surgery did not have the necessary license to perform cosmetic surgery. So, Dr. Srinivas said that a notice was served to Dr. Shetty's cosmetic center in the heart of Karnataka's capital, as they did not have the permission to perform laser surgery. They have taken permission for a polyclinic, not for the laser surgery. So, Bengaluru District Collector will hold a meeting with other officials and take action. Chetna Raj died of complications after undergoing plastic surgery. She was known for her roles in daily soaps such as Geeta and Dore Sunny. The actress developed complications as fluid began to accumulate in her lungs. She then breathed her last despite attempts to save her. Her parents accused the doctors of negligence and have lodged a complaint. And based on this complaint, an FIR has been registered in Subramanian Nagar police station. The post-mortem report will be forwarded to the medical council to initiate action against the illegal clinic. So, an important thing to note in this particular case is that all these private clinics, I wonder how they are running without proper licenses, right? So this should not be the case in any city or any town in India, that medical licenses should be very carefully sort of given. There should be a lot of compliances with regards
But
to
I've
setting
I've
up
seen, Jaydev,
of
that
clinics and
I've
hospitals.
seen that in the case of many people that we known, this liposuction is quite a dangerous thing, and
Yes.
a couple of our friends have also died on the surgery table, which means that it is not a safe solution. So the best thing is they need to go about it the normal way, which is the natural way of going to a gym and cutting your diet. So that's the best way to lose weight. And I don't know why these people go to this extreme. In fact, I was watching the series called The Bling in Netflix, and you won't believe it. There's this Chinese guy who actually has some kind of surgery where a thread is put into his nose, injected into his nose to straighten his nose, you know. And then I was just looking at the result after that. It looked the same. I mean, nothing different except that he lost some blood and it looked very painful. And then what he did was also to make his chin straight. He had a lot of threads attached to his chin, So I don't know how painful it is because these people just do anything for the sake of beauty or since they have lots of money, And this is a very a good example of how these film stars and models try their best to look perfect in a world where we don't know what is perfection you know yeah. Moving on to the Kashmir
Yeah,
Files.
I just
Yeah.
like to add some of points to this
Yes.
discussion.
Yes.
So, there's so many of the viewers said that there is sort of a pressure on these actors to look perfect in the industry, and they would go to any extreme to sort of look perfect, whether it's do a gastric bypass surgery, fat loss surgery. So they whether it's Botox or any sort of plastic surgery. So they undergo all these surgeries in the quest for perfection. So that's how all these high society circles they operate. They have a peer pressure among the high society circles, and that sort of instigates these young people to look in their quest for perfection. If they want to change their nose to a particular shape, if they want a perfect symmetrical face, they undergo all this plastic surgery to look perfect and look beautiful or handsome. So that's
In fact,
how all these
yeah,
accidents happen.
yeah. In fact, Dina
Yeah.
Ballerina uh, states a very good a point. Chetna Raj was hardly overweight to go in for liposuction. Her face on the pics had some colorless patches. Wonder what she was really getting done. Oh yes, that you can see the difference in that. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you can see it clearly in the
Yeah.
pictures.
See,
Mm.
Nina. See, what we came to know is that, see, in the West, there are treatments where even the darkest of dark person can be, changed into a fair person. But it's a painful treatment. And you remember Michael Jackson also underwent that. So there are a lot of people. For example, if you look at someone like Mauni Roy, she was a very dusky
Mm.
Bengali woman, and now she looks quite fair. Same thing with Rekha. So all these people have changed, the way they look. Yeah,
So Usha raises a very important point. It is sad that these actresses go through surgery, but to think about it, we as audience should accept normal weight heroines. It's a toxic trend. Lose weight and wear skimpy clothes and get hits. Yeah, Usha, you are
yeah,
partly. Yeah, you're correct.
Usha. But see, there have been movies where women look like either your aunt or your mom wearing saris, and those movies have turned out to be hits. So I think more than the figure, it's always the content that sells. And yes, if you talk about magazines, fashion magazines, they sell zero figure. But actually, would you marry someone who's absolutely skinny? You wouldn't. You would rather have a rounded person because that looks more graceful. That person looks more graceful. So it's just something that you see in a magazine, and because you're in of an impressionable age, you will want to copy them. But actually, if you look at them, they just look like walking skeletons you know so I don't know whether our children or our grandchildren should follow these kind of sort of models.
Yeah. So
Nina
adding to
says,
that,
I
yeah,
think
adding
she
to
was getting
yeah.
skin lightening treatments done glutathione injections. So that could be the reason, Nina. See, I also feel that something is being hidden, and this may be one of the reasons, and this may be one of the treatments that all these Indian actresses are getting done in the West.
Yeah, so coming back to Usha's comment, now Usha stresses on that we should accept normal weight heroines. So
Absolutely.
now Usha, if you go through Instagram and see Instagram models, just have a look at the number of likes and the number of comments for for size zero ladies and for normal size women. So there'll be a huge difference. And after all, everyone cares for TRP and which sort of actresses bring them more viewership and sell their films. So that's what drives the film world, right?
Yeah, see, and when Preeti says keto diet took one life of a Bengali actress, I was shocked,
Mm.
when I heard about the keto diet, where you can eat as much fat as you want, but you don't have carbohydrates. So you can have as much butter and margarine and cheese, but you can't have, carbohydrates. And my neighbor's daughter, she did this. She followed this keto diet, and she almost died. Okay, and after a month when I saw her, she was looking like a skeleton. She could hardly walk. She needed help. And then I asked her mother. So her mother said she's been following this diet. And then it took her about a couple of months to come back, to the same shape. So why do we follow these kind of diets when Indian diet is the best? If you're looking at fulkas and dal and vegetables, that is the best diet that anybody can have. In olden times, our grandfathers and grandmothers were never ill, but today if you look, everybody falls sick at the drop of a hat. Yeah.
Yeah, so Botox is okay, but at some time, age will tell. If you look at them, especially, they will get old. It looks so terrible that they can't even speak properly with the lips being pumped up
Yes.
so much.
We see a lot of people like that, Leonora, in Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, Usha says that you're absolutely right, Meenaji. Looking at these, you know, nourished,
Fat nourished girls, yeah.
yeah, The young generation start these unrealistic diet trends like keto and whatnot.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hi, Swati.
Welcome, Swati.
Long time.
Yeah, we are enamored by the West that we blindly follow them. No one did in our parents' generation who is not healthy. No one did in our, yes, exactly. And what were they eating? They were eating kanji and all the normal food that you get, just even things that you pluck from your garden. So what we are eating now, if you're talking about Western diets, we are also in the wrong concept of having only cheese or mayonnaise, things that are very fat, baked, maida, which is full of gluten. So it's always better to go back to our Indian way of eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So
Jaideep, moving to the Kashmir files.
yeah. So coming to the Kashmir Files, the Kashmir Files crosses 9 million views in its first week on Z5 OTT platform, and the Kashmir Files created history at the box office, as all of you know. And it received a highest number of views and streaming minutes for the opening weekend at 6 million and 220 million respectively. It has also garnered the highest number of views and streaming minutes for the first week at 9 million and 300 million. It has broken all records on Z5 OTT, and with this film, Z5 became the first OTT platform to release a Bollywood film with Indian Sign Language interpretation. The numbers for the opening weekend and the first week include all language feeds of the Kashmir Files. So, speaking about the success, Vivek Agnihotri said, starting from its theatrical release to now, its digital release, the love from the audience for the Kashmir Files has only grown spirit by spirit. This movie has been my most gratifying project so far, and I'm thankful to the viewers for accepting it, loving it, and making it their own. The first week's numbers for the digital premiere on Z5 are very encouraging, and I hope that Z5's global reach, more and more people discover it and watch it. Anupam Kher added, the Kashmir Files is more than a movie. It is a movement, and I'm happy to see that it is breaking all records for its digital debut, as well as it continues its winning streak on Z5. So this is quite interesting that the Kashmir Files is even breaking sort of records on OTT platforms,
Yeah. In fact,
and yeah,
yeah. I'm just going back to the point that Swati made. Swati says
yeah,
liposuction procedure is very common, but you need to have a expert surgeon. Now, Swati, I have seen many people who've done liposuction, and I've seen a lady who got her fat removed from her thighs, and I saw she showed me the after effects of the liposuction, and she had a big hole. It was like a big hole, except that and the skin sort of hangs there. So it looks so ugly. So never, even in fact, Leonara was also saying the same thing. At that moment, when you do Botox or liposuction, at that moment for a month or a year or 2 years, it will look okay. But the older you grow, these things have an effect on your body, and you start looking very weird with lips that are really huge and cheeks that are sort of like, if you look at Madhuri Dixit now, and if you look at Madhuri Dixit when she first came into the film scene, she was a totally a beautiful girl with the good looks. But now, if you look at her, her cheeks are very, very, it's filled, and she looks odd, And many times, if you look at her waist very closely, you'll see that there are it's been tucked in by surgery, and it looks very odd. So it's the same thing with you if you look at the Tamil actress Nayantara. Nayantara is also doing a lot of things surgery wise, and if you look at her waist, her stomach and her waist look very odd because I'm sure the surgery would have failed. So that's another failure. Like you said, you need very expert surgeons, but even expert surgeons cannot help you for that long. You need to keep on doing it, to make sure that you're, looking good all the time. Yeah, JB.
yeah, but um,
Moving on to the next point.
yeah, just 1 second. there have been some lapses, something was unplanned, and I'm sure something that has gone wrong with the procedure. Yeah, so she's, I think, referring to the Chetna incident. Yeah. So coming to the next piece of news.
So it's about Arnab Goswami.
Yeah. So Rajasthan High Court grants interim relief to Arnab Goswami in a case filed by INC's Pawan Khera. Now, the Rajasthan High Court granted interim protection from arrest to Arnab Goswami in the case registered against him under Section 153A of the IPC for promoting enmity between religious groups. A first FIR was registered on May 17th against Goswami at the Ambamata police station in Rajasthan's Udaipur based on a complaint by Congress spokesperson Pawan Khera taking objections to certain news show broadcasts made by Republic Bharat. Goswami approached the High Court seeking quashing of the FIR. The matter was mentioned by senior advocate Mahesh Jetalmani before Justice Sandeep Mehta, who directed the police not to take any coercive steps against individuals named in the FIR. The matter will be heard next on May 23rd. The plea alleged that FIR is motivated and has been registered to harass and embroil Republic TV in legal cases. The current FIR has been filed at the behest of Pawan Khera, who is the spokesperson of the All India Congress Committee and represents the Indian National Congress in various TV shows, debates that are held on different news channels. As per his own complaint, it must be noted that in a case where the Congress government of the state of Rajasthan was being questioned, a member of the Congress has filed a complaint. This establishes how the entire case is motivated and made to harass and embroil a legitimate news network and its members in a litany of cases. This is what the plea said. The news broadcast in question related to a temple alleged demolition in Rajgarh and a demolition drive in Alwar. The plea by Arnab Goswami stated that the said broadcasts were aimed to ensure communal amity rather than disturb it. Regarding the alleged demolition at Rajgarh, the plea said, in fact, the channels also covered how a Muslim group had filed a complaint naming Congress Zilla head Yogesh Mishra for vitiating harmony in the region. Therefore, far from causing strife, Republic was exposing it. On the Alwar demolition, the program has used the words Jahangir Puri ka badla. Goswami submitted that the line was made not in reference to any community, but to question if it was a politically motivated demolition drive. It is submitted that there was an uproar over a demolition drive in New Delhi's Jahangir Puri on 21st of April 2022. The demolition was being done by the Delhi MCD, which is headed by the BJP. Soon after, there was news of the Alwar demolition in Rajasthan, where there's a Congress government in power. Therefore, the question about Jahangir Puri Ka Badla were being raised in the context of it being a political battle over demolition. This is what the petition said. There was no disturbance of public order in the aftermath of the broadcast, establishing that the said broadcast did not threaten or disturb peace on the ground in any way, the plea added. So, allowing the proceedings to continue will have a chilling effect on free speech and would be a violation of freedom of speech and expression guaranteed under Article 19(1)(a), it was contended. Besides Jetlamani, senior advocate Malvika Trivedi, advocates Muktesh Maheshwari, Ravi Sharma, and Sia Chaudhary, along with the team of Phoenix Legal, appeared for Arnab Goswami. So Arnab seems to be again in legal trouble with the Congress. As all of you know that he was in a lot of trouble with the Maharashtra government, and he was arrested by Sachin Waze from his house last year, and he came back. He came outside as a hero. But lately, he has not been following up with any of the SSR or Disha case or any of the, he's not been sort of questioning Bollywood or in any of his debates, because I believe a lot of production houses have filed a case against Republic TV, and that's why he's not sort of reporting it or sort of mentioning it in his debates.
So Maya says, talking of Rajasthan reminds one of Gaylord calling Gyanvapi Shivling issue a big tamasha. Hope people teach him about Sanatana. See, in Maya, I think that, see, all these people, of the Congress party, like Gaylord, are actually what you call closeted Christians. Because anybody who joins the party, the first thing that Sonia Gandhi does is make them convert, you know. So all these people who are, who have Hindu names are actually, Christians. And he doesn't care a damn about what our Shivalinga means to Hindus and what it signifies. Because see, anybody is scared to even talk the way Gaylord has been talking. He's been talking like a vagabond, not like a chief minister. And the way he speaks about, Baba and, it's as though, he doesn't care, about Sanatana Dharma or Hindus or their feelings or their emotions. But then if you'll notice that everybody in Congress behaves in the same manner, if you're talking about Digvijay or anybody. And that's because they're all, I'm sure, converted. And they are just all, only what we say in public, Hindus. So they don't care much, Maya. That's my view of, this. And also, Hansa says, Arnab should be supported as he stands up for people. Yes, absolutely. Arnab is a very straightforward journalist. He should be supported, except when he speaks about things which we do not agree with. Yeah. Moving on to Netflix. Netflix has asked the employees to leave if they are offended by its content. It is indicated that the company may not be the best place for those employees who found it hard to support its diverse shows. Now, Jenny will tell you more about it, but before we continue on that, I'd like to tell you, see, that recently I watched a movie called of Ben Affleck's latest movie. I think it's the Deep Blue or something. So, since Ben Affleck is in it, I thought it would be at least having some sort of a standard. But if you look from the beginning to the end, it's all about sex, and just sex put in for the sake of sex. And if these are the kind of films that Netflix is approving and telling employees that you should not speak about it, then I don't think Netflix will have many employees left. Because if looking at the kind of content now, apparently Madhuri Dixit is going to come in a gay movie. Now we all know who is a top gay producer, lady producer in India. Now perhaps she would have made her do the story. Now, what are they trying to give? What sort of a message are they trying to tell us? That India is a society of gays, and we don't have family lives, proper family lives. There are no heterosexual relationships. You know, what are they trying to do? I mean, I strongly believe, and this is something that the government has to take up, that Netflix has an agenda, and that is to spoil our culture, our rich heritage. Everybody knows a proper family life is what a child craves for, and not these unnatural relationships. You know, yeah. Back to you, Jim.
Yeah. So coming to the next piece of news is with regards to Navjot Singh
No, I
Sidhu.
thought, Jaydeep, you could just read a little bit more about the Netflix one because it's important for the viewers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So coming to Netflix again, that they have hinted that the employees were offended, who are offended by the shows are free to leave the company. So Netflix released a corporate culture memo, and in which it explained that employees could be expected to work on shows that go against their own personal values. So it added that it would support the artistic freedom of creators while bluntly telling employees that Netflix may not be the best place for them if they found it hard to support its diverse, sometimes provocative shows. Depending on your role, you may need to work on titles you perceive to be harmful. If you'd find it hard to support our content breadth, Netflix may not be the best place for you. It further said we offer a wide variety of TV shows and movies, some of which can be provocative. We support the artistic expression of the creators we choose to work with. We program for a diversity of audiences and tastes. We let viewers decide what's appropriate for them versus having Netflix censor specific artists or voices. So, Netflix new guidelines seem to be in response to the recent backlash against Dave Chappelle's show The Closer, and Netflix decision to keep the comedian special on service, despite critics branding it homophobic and transphobic, led to a number of employees staging a walkout in protest. So, as you know, that Netflix as an OTT platform is not doing very well in terms of business, especially in India. They have lost a lot of memberships because, and that led to Netflix revising the subscription prices for the Netflix subscription in India. So they do
In
not
fact,
realize that, yeah.
yeah. In fact, I would just congratulate the employees who walked out. I mean, that was a really brave thing to do because you didn't approve of what the kind of bullshit that they give us. Okay, and Leonardo tells me yes, the movie's name is Deep Blue Sea, Ben Affleck's movie. Okay, so there's a lot of this is just one movie. They have movies where they just put in sex for the sake of sex, and this is just to make young minds even more perverted. Okay, if for example in a certain group you don't have gay lovers, it's not they want to say that it's not natural. So these are all things that they're trying to teach our youngsters. And one thing I'd like to say is that, see, the faster our government realizes that censorship has to take place, and Anurag, the minister, has to be more vocal about the kind of movies that are being shown on Netflix. Half of them have absolutely no sense. And if you ask me, I just watch some regional movies, or if it go to YouTube and watch some movies if I really need to. But Netflix is bringing out absolutely crap, you know yeah.
Yeah. So, and not only that, Netflix, they have all, as far as the Indian content is concerned, they have all the woke movies, which sort of has anti-Hindu sort of
Yes.
element, stories, or especially these Bollywood films, which
Yeah.
make fun of Hindi, which make fun of Hindu traditions.
In fact,
So
Mickey is
they,
saying I stopped
yeah.
watching Netflix because of this.
So yeah. So Netflix might have future if Elon buys it to Maya. So Maya, I would like to add to Maya's point is that if Elon will ask Netflix how many bots are there as subscribers in Netflix, will Netflix reveal it to Elon? Yeah. So coming to the next piece of news is with regards to Sidhu. So Sidhu moves the Supreme Court seeking additional time to surrender in road rage case. So the matter was mentioned on Friday morning by Senior Counsel Dr. Abhishek Manu Singh before Justice A.M. Kanvilkar, who asked Sidhu to file a formal application. Now, Congress leader and former Indian cricketer Navjot Singh Sidhu has approached the Supreme Court seeking additional time to surrender after he was sentenced to 1 year in jail by a top court in a 1988 road rage case. So, friends, look at this. He committed this offense in the year 1988, and now he's getting punished for it. So, what does that tell you? That our justice system takes so much of time to sort of give punishment to the perpetrator, right? So coming back to the story is that the matter was mentioned on Friday morning by Abhishek Manu, and he will surrender, but he wants a few weeks to settle up his medical health issues. Give him some time, please. This is what Singhvi submitted. The court asked Sidhu to file a formal application to that effect. Place a formal application and we will see. File this and mention it before the Chief Justice's court, then we will see. A bench of Justice A.M. Kanvilkar and Sanjay Kishan Kaul had on Thursday allowed the review petition challenging the Supreme Court's 2018 judgment that had reduced the punishment imposed on Sidhu in the road rage case from 3 years imprisonment to ₹1,000 fine. The review was filed by the son of the victim who had allegedly died after a physical assault by Sidhu and others. The case of the prosecution was that in December 1988, the victim and the appellants, including Sidhu, got into a heated exchange over a vehicle belonging to the appellants, which was allegedly parked in the middle of the road. The exchange, according to the prosecution, led to a physical assault on the victim who was pronounced dead when he was taken to the hospital. It was claimed by the prosecution that Sidhu had fled the scene of the crime. The trial court had acquitted the appellants in 1999 on the grounds that the death of the victim was caused due to cardiac arrest and not due to the injury sustained in the assault. The acquittal, however, was set aside by the Punjab and Haryana High Court in 2006, which found the appellants guilty of culpable homicide not amounting to murder. The High Court awarded Sidhu and another accused 3 years imprisonment and a fine of rupees 1 lakh each. So in 2007, the Supreme Court had stayed Sidhu's conviction and granted him bail. In 2018, the Supreme Court let off Sidhu with a fine of ₹1,000 for the offence of voluntarily causing hurt under Section 323 of IPC. The judgment was delivered by a division bench of justices. So this is quite interesting as far as Sidhu is
In fact,
concerned.
there's also something interesting coming from Akshay Kumar, whose movie Prithviraj is coming out, and also, earlier Amir Khan also. Both of them are very petrified of how their movies will fare, in the box office. So, now he has addressed the Bollywood versus South cinema issue. And he said that he doesn't resonate with the word pan India and said, I hope every film works. It's important for the Hindi film industry. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I don't know what will happen. And this word pan India, ye mere samajh ka bahar hai. He further continued his view on language debate and said, see, I don't believe in this divide. I hate it when someone says South industry and North industry. We're all one industry. That's what I believe. I think we should even stop asking this question. In which case, I'd like to ask Akshay, why the hell were you all promoting Indian cinema as Bollywood? If you felt there is no divide, why the hell did you promote it as only Bollywood and even speak Punjabi in it? Okay, Karan Johar has the reputation of only making the actors speak in Punjabi. Is Punjabi our language? No, it belongs to one state. Okay, they were not speaking Malayalam or Tamil or Telugu. Now, at that time, you didn't want to be associated with the South because you felt that you were superior to South films. Now that all these people, Bahubali and all these people have proved that they're 10 times better than you and they can, get all the audience that they want. Now you want to sort of, relate with them and say that you're all part of Indian film fraternity. Look at the way Akshay changes. He's a real chameleon, And also another point that I should make here, because we are on Boycott Bollywood, Amir Khan, his movie Lal Sam Chadda or something is coming out with Kareena, and he is so scared. He's saying, I've been told not to say anything about the film because, we don't know what's going to happen to the film. Look at the way these Khans, these people who ruled, Bollywood and thought that everybody falls at their knees to get, a sort of a word out of them, today have become paupers. And now they want to tie up with people like Allu Arjun and all these people who come from the South because certainly they know that they are better actors, their content is much better, their music is much better, and we've been taking this Bollywood shit for a long time. We don't need it anymore. Plus, on top of that, Bollywood, you had the added baggage of a mafia telling you what to do. So we don't want you. It's exactly what we have been doing for so long, which is boycott Bollywood. So Akshay, by changing words and saying that see, north and south are one and east and west are one, now will not work. It would have worked if you had, taken this stand right from the start. But at that time, you felt that every South Indian was a Kala Kunda. That's exactly what you people used to say about South Indians. They are black and they speak Madrasi. Okay, now it's changed. It's these Madrasis who are making the money, and you all are sitting catching flies. Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, and Preeti said that an Amir's daughter attitude on Bikini birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is he still doing in India in the first place? Has he not got the message? He should be going back to his beloved country, Canada.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Verdict after 30 years, Sidhu case. Not even after 40 years in Ajmer rape case, where one of the victims had become a grandma, and in Yasin Malik case, FIR 2017, but not for 1991. Yes, Maya.
In fact,
So,
there's one more small piece of news that I need to tell you about Deepika Padukone. Now, Deepika Padukone has been shown the exit door. Producers looking for her replacement in the Intern remake. So, one more disaster after her disastrous fashion look at the Cannes Festival. Looks like any hopes of her resurrection is not in the making for Miss Mal. The report says that the cast of the Intern remake is being reshuffled again after Rishi Kapoor's death. It is now being said that Deepika Padukone has been shown the exit door, while Amitabh Bachchan will continue to be a part of the film. Now, ever since she got married to Ranveer, even Ranveer is facing a very bad time. So it seems like anybody who touches this woman, will have to undergo, a terrible, terrible period, as we would say, in South, undergo a Shani Dasha.
yeah. So that's all the news from my side.
Mhm. Thank you, Jaideep, and thank you, viewers, for always, giving us your views, and we enjoy the session so much. So good night, and tomorrow we'll have a session with Saffron Tiger. So meet you at the same time. Good night.
Good night.